everyone. For the past year, the world has been greatly scrutinizing diseases and illnesses because the pandemic has really showed what happens when one goes unchecked. Today, I'm here to talk about not a contractable disease, but a chronic health condition, polycystic ovarian syndrome, or PCOS. And here to educate us more on this is Lynne Wallace, the founder of DFW PCOS Sisters, a nonprofit support group for women diagnosed with PCOS in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Thank you so much for joining us, Ms. Wallace. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, Alex.
Wonderful. Let's get right into it. To begin with, what is polycystic ovarian syndrome?
So, polycystic ovarian syndrome is considered an endocrine disorder. The endocrine system is made of several glands throughout our body that produce the hormones that we need for our body to properly function. With polycystic ovarian syndrome, various hormone levels are imbalanced, leading to a myriad of different problems, such as absent or abnormal menstrual cycles, insulin resistance, abnormal and excessive weight gain, and excess body hair. It can lead to additional diseases such as heart disease, reproductive cancers, and type 2 diabetes. The name polycystic ovarian syndrome, however, is misleading because you don't have to have cysts on your ovaries to have PCOS, and you don't have to have PCOS to have cysts.
Mm. So, how many women on average are diagnosed with this condition? And, around what age are they diagnosed?
So it's most common now for women to be diagnosed around their typical childbearing years because abnormal levels of female hormones like estrogen and progesterone make it difficult to get pregnant. So women are usually diagnosed when they've gone to talk to their doctors because they aren't having success getting pregnant on their own. However, the signs and symptoms of PCOS begin as early as puberty. So many women suffer for years before getting any answers on why their body just isn't functioning properly. Several years ago, it was originally assumed that 1 in 10 women of childbearing age would be diagnosed with PCOS. However, as more is learned about PCOS and more people are being diagnosed, that number has increased to about 1 in 5. To put that into perspective, let's take the population of Dallas. There's 680,000 women just in the city of Dallas. With the latest estimates of 1 in 5 women having PCOS, we can expect that at least 65,000 to 100,000 women in Dallas alone have PCOS, although many go undiagnosed.
Wow. So, when did you start DFW PCOS Sisters, and why did you start it?
So I was diagnosed back in 2007, but I chose to ignore it for a long time. I eventually decided that I needed to take better care of myself and get my PCOS under control. I struggled a lot because I felt like I was alone in my fight against a disease that has no cure and can be difficult to manage. I found an online forum of women and I did a lot of research to try and understand it more, but I still felt alone. So I decided that I wanted to create a local support group dedicated to getting information out to the women that need it. So I was taking all of this research that I had done and putting it in a format that I could get it to other women. But I also wanted to provide people with a list of doctor recommendations because so many people don't know what PCOS is or they don't understand it enough to properly treat it. So I created a Facebook group in 2011 to try and find other women with PCOS in the North Texas area. Um, Over the years, we have been able to build a large list of doctors that are fabulous for treating PCOS, and then a list of doctors that you might want to stay away from. And we always say it's not that the doctors are bad doctors, they're just not necessarily experienced enough to handle treating a disease like PCOS.
What events and plans have you had for the group, and did COVID affect it at all?
COVID greatly affected how we ran our group. Although it's a private Facebook group and there's 1,500 members, people are allowed, are able to talk to us 24/7. So we're always connecting with each other. But because of COVID, most of our group plans were put on hold. Prior to the pandemic, we would host at least one event per month to get people together. We would do things like visit art museums, have picnics, try different exercise classes, and much more. My entire goal with the in-person meetups was that we didn't sit around complaining about our lives and complaining about our symptoms. I wanted our meetings to be uplifting and positive, to bring happiness to people who are struggling with such a difficult disease. We also, every September, host a free 5K walk for PCOS Awareness Month. Normally, we jump back and forth each year between Grapevine Mills Mall and North Park Mall in Dallas. Um, and it's great fun. There tons of us get together and there's not any pressure. We're not racing. There's not a time limit. It's just a bunch of us enjoying walking around the mall, window shopping, and talking.
Oh, that's amazing. This group is it just sounds amazing. Now, let's say that one of our viewers wanted to join DFW PCOS Sisters. How would they? Would they contact you? Do you have like a website they can reach? I remember you said something about a Facebook group.
Mhm. So you can easily find us through Facebook doing a search for DFW PCOS. You can also put another combination such as your city name or your county followed by PCOS, and generally we get pulled, our group pulls up. We have a public facing page that I share information on time to time that anybody can follow, and then we also have a private group that you have to request to join. And we just verify that you are a real person, that you're not a spammer, and that you are joining our group because you want to connect with other women. We also have a website, dfwpcossisters.com, and sisters is spelled Cysters, which is a little bit of a joke between us. And you can find more information about PCOS. You can find our doctor recommendation list there, and you can also find links to our Facebook group.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much for joining me, Ms. Wallace. Thank you so much for telling us about this amazing group. I'm so happy that this exists for a group of for y'all. I'm so happy. And if you would like information on this condition, please visit dfwpcossisters.com as well as their Facebook group page at DFW PCOS Sisters. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much again, Ms. Wallace.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.